Thank you, Tom. Hello and welcome. I'm Ted, and this is Jordan and Perry, and we're assigned to create the I Need My Key app. I Need My Key is a secure storage for any type of key based at convenient locations around the island. With 24-hour access, all you need is a mobile phone and email address to sign in to use the anonymous service, and it's an affordable alternative to a locksmith at only £12 per year per key, and you can store and retrieve your key as many times during that time. Okay, so here we're just restarting our Rails server, and this is our application. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll show you the sign-up form, and like I say, it's a relatively anonymous service. So all we really need is just an email address and a mobile number, and then just the password to use the service. We've signed in. I'll show you here, and once you're signed in, what we've got is a button here so we can add a key to your account, and we just choose a key name and we can add, and we come through to the payment. So like I say, it's £12 per year. You can retrieve and store the key as many times as you like. We'll just go back for a moment as we've already logged in. As you can see here, we've got the key name, the date it was added, the status, and if you so wish, after you've stored, retrieved, you can delete the key anytime during the year. And here we have the store button. So what we'll do here, Harry, can I grab your phone? Is once we store the key, a text message will be sent to the mobile phone number detailing the location and an authorization code, which you will then go through to the location. Yeah, you need a password. Sorry about this. Yeah, so what we'll do is you'll have the location. So for instance, we've got Montfort, Post Office, Le Grand Route de St Martin, St Saviour, and a 5-digit authorization code, which the person will then take their key and to the address, and we'll meet the admin at that location. And, oh, there we go. We just have the keys. And we can hand that over to the admin. And if you like, sorry. And here we have to choose to store the key, and then we have the code 89198. And we can see now that that's stored. Like I say, it's in a secure location. We probably would use safes in each of the locations, and at any time, if you need your key, you can come back onto the account and click the retrieve button, and then if you choose, it will only display those keys that are actually stored, and you click the button, and again we should receive a text message giving us the same location with an authorization code. During the year, for security reasons and depending on where the keys are allocated at the beginning, we do have a manual service where we will move the keys, and it's just an additional security procedure that we've been asked to implement in the application. So we'll go to, in this case, the same location, and we'll give the authorization code, and that's 84036. 84036. Okay, and now that key ID has actually come off our service. Okay, so now we'll just do a quick run through. We've got a super user account. Oh, sorry, we'll run through the delete my key. So like I say, once you've stored and retrieved, then you'll be given the option to delete the key. And just for on the super admin side, we have report here that shows us that the keys, the number of keys in different locations around the island. Like I say, if we need to move a few and manage the capacity of each of those locations, we have the options. We can also, as the super user, edit the users if needs be, and that could be for a business, from a business point of view. The keys themselves, like I say, we can change the location. Only the super user actually sees the key name and the email. So, like I say, it's an anonymous service as far as the admin goes. And then we have the location services, location edit and delete function as and when this is required. And I think that's all. Okay, I'd like to thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Hello everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm Anastasia, and there's Chris, and we're the Chamber of Commerce team, and it's actually 2/3 of the team, because unfortunately one member couldn't attend the presentation today, but he worked as well on the project. So the aim of this project was to build a backend database for the Chamber of Commerce website that would allow more functionality and will improve the application process for the potential members of the Chamber of Commerce. Basically, we would like to allow them more flexibility to register online for membership, and once they approved, they could edit their information, add more details about themselves, add key personnel. So essentially, they could add more information about the company than they currently can on the Chamber of Commerce website. In order of this to happen, we also need an administrator person that could review the application process and approve or reject members. And also another aim of the project was to build a new view or like a customer side view where a simple website user can log into can go on the website and view potential some chamber members. So we'll start with the user case scenario of a simple website visitor, like what are they seeing when they go on the Chamber of Commerce website.
Yeah, so all of the members here, we've only got 4 at the moment. If we had more than 10, they would be paginated 10 per page. We've only added 4 just for demonstration purposes. And they're searchable by name, as I'll demonstrate now. So type in Winter here, and then we've got the result Winter Holcombe, or alternatively you can browse by sector. So choose IT, search, and we've got the coding program here. So I'll have a look, and we've got Elizabeth Blanchett, the key personnel here, and what we can allow the users to do is upload their own information via PDF, so it can be anything from annual reports to newsletters to whatever the member decides to upload. That is subject to approval by the Chamber of Commerce admin, but we think that from a sort of marketing point of view, you can use this as another branch to your organisation. So we've just got a simple PDF Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll here. So we'll go back, and I like the look of this website. I'm interested in becoming a member for the Chamber of Commerce, so I'm going to go and register. So I'll put my email address in. So I'll just choose IT, organisation name.
This is the standard application form necessary for an admin to see when he approves the process, but afterwards the company can add more information.
We have the option to upload logos as well, and website URL. And you have the option to make it public or private as well, so we'll go and create that. Logo can be blank, so I'll choose a file here. Picture of Perry.
I'm not sure if it's the right size, but
See if it works. web URL is invalid?
You have to type HTTP.
Ah, okay.
No, actually the file size should be 300 by 200, and we had on our local machine the picture, but I don't think Perry has any.
Yeah, I don't think Perry has any.
Why don't you crack the logo at the bottom and then save it as video?
No, it has to be the necessary 300 pixel by 300, so well. Yeah, sorry about that, but basically after Chris creates the member, I will receive an email address because I'm listed as an admin on the website. So after I receive the email address, it says that a new member has applied for registration, and I have to log in to see, to approve and reject. So now I'm going to log in as an admin. Yeah. So an admin has a lot more functionality, and to review an application, usually you go in the members menu, and yeah, the application Chris just completed should appear on the pending application. So when there's an application over there, we can go, for example, here, and you can see all the information the member has uploaded, and there should be an approve or reject button on the when a member has requested. So for example, if we approve it, then the member will receive another email that the application has been approved, and they can now go to their dashboard and then add more information. In the admin view here, we have, as an administrator, we can add different sectors, edit a sector, add different membership types, or add a membership type, change its cost, or make it active or inactive. We can, as a super admin, we also can add more admins. This feature is only limited to super administrator actually. And also we can view the audit log. Any changes that are made on the website are viewed here, and they're searchable. So yeah, unfortunately we didn't prepare for we needed the logo to be uploaded, so the full presentation should be, yeah, so let's go again, let's log in as a member, for example. If I logged in as a member, I can go here and yeah, I can edit all this information. Can you take it?
Sure. So, for example, if we wanted to add a person, we could just click here, and then that would give us all the information that we have to, or we need to upload a picture, to upload a job title, to upload any sort of contact information that you might need. And we can upload attachments here. Again, this isn't our machine, so we don't know if there are any PDFs to upload. But you can delete what you've already got as well.
If we made some mistake that we typed email address incorrectly or something, we can edit also.
Yeah, so I'll just demonstrate that here. So we want to change this email address. Just click on this button here. This doesn't want to work.
No, just have to press it. Yeah.
When we were live testing this yesterday, this all worked, but yep.
So this, yeah, it's basically you can edit the information inline if you made a mistake, or if you change your email address or a phone number, you can edit that information directly. We apologize for the technical details. Yeah, we didn't test it on a different machine, so yeah, but this is basically our project.
Hello everybody, my name's Alex, this is Sarah, who's going to be talking through the demo, and Chris on the computer doing the magic. We were tasked, as a way of background, by Alex and Joe at Vantage Innovation to create a valuation system for a family office. And if you don't know what a family office is, it's basically someone who's got so much money
that like a bank account just will no longer do. They need an office and they need a number of staff to actually manage their assets and kind of collate their wealth for them. So the system needs to be flexible enough to kind of deal with the very complex structures involved in family offices. And we also importantly needed it to be really simple for the administrators and stuff. The specification was for a system that would be used by both administrators and by users. So we needed to kind of play for two people, but we wanted to try and keep it really coherent for both users. So it was really simple for the guy on the yacht who's looking at his money, and it was also really simple for the administrators who are actually putting the assets into the system. Design, so like I said, we need to be tailored. We've kind of created something we think that's really simple, intuitive, whilst kind of retaining the kind of aforementioned ability to deal with the really complex structures that are inherent with kind of family offices. And hopefully you'll see in an attractive package. We're very proud, I think we're very proud of what we've done in the last 3 months. 6 months ago we've come from pretty much scratch, and 3 months ago we started this project. I think we've come quite a long way. And as a kind of a personal user of kind of valuation systems in my day-to-day work, and I have to say this is probably one of the most intuitive and simple to use systems I've come across in a kind of professional environment. So without further ado, I think Sarah's going to just kind of talk us through the system.
Okay, so we have a fully functional encrypted password and login system. You can't sign up for our app because registration is by invitation only. Login. So we have 3 different types of users on the system. As we are logged in as a super admin at the moment, we will be redirected to the dashboard, which I'll explain in a moment. An admin would also be redirected to the dashboard, minus the user information. And a trust owner, which is just a regular user, would be redirected to their trust immediately. So up on the top left here, we have the trusts that we created and can administer. Down here we have the tasks that we've set for ourselves. And down here we have all the pending valuations. And they're pending because a valuation for an asset needs to be approved by 2 admins or super admins before it can become valid. Up here we have the FX rates. The ones in green are the ones that have been updated within the last week, and the ones in red are the ones that haven't been. And lastly up here we have all the users for editing purposes that have been created. So now we will have a look at the trust. So on the top left here we have all just the basic information like the address. Up on the right here we have a total calculation of all the assets within the trust, the same for the liabilities and the bank accounts. We have a couple charts through. This top chart is just an overall performance chart of how the trust has been doing over time. We put it at the top because it's a good immediate indicator of how the trust has been doing. On the bottom left we have the asset breakdown chart, and it breaks them down by the type of asset they are. You can see we have a lot in the loans, and we have quite a good chunk in the portfolio as well. Now the portfolio is an example of a parent holding, and a parent holding represents nested assets. And nested assets are essentially assets that can belong to another asset that belong to the trust, and this can be infinitely deep. So this is the view of the this portfolio. As you can see, we've kept the same layout because we wanted everything to keep as uniform as possible. And as you can see by the asset split, all of it's taken up by equities. So have a quick look at Ashted. So this is the very bottom level, just the asset view. Again, you can see the performance of the asset within this trust. And at this level you can see all the valuations, so as a super admin or as an admin you'd be able to add a valuation or sign off a valuation. So I think we're going to quickly add a holding, probably.
Yeah.
Show you how easy it is to add one.
On the side here we've got the holding types. This is something you can create your own names. These are the ones we've created. And these you can have as many as you want, any types, and it's all bespoke. I'm just going to test one. And this one we're going to try to create a company, which is a company that has nested assets, so very nested assets. Take it straight to the new form, which is then hopefully just going to be an asset. call it a commercial property. And on the first time, we have to add a valuation, the value of the actual asset itself. Currency type, we're going to try something brave. We're going to go for a euro. We're going to call it. Does anybody actually remember what the top value of the trust was? It's 5 million, was it 2.5 million? What was the top value of the
7 million, I think.
7 million.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah. So obviously adding the valuation here, I'm going to sign off. Now the currency rates are all listed at the side here. These are the current ones that are inputted by the admin. And that's it. That's the first valuation. We've got it pending here. We need a 4-right sign off, which I can't actually do. I need that on computer. No current value yet on the asset. It's treated differently because it's pending. It needs a 4-right sign off. It needs 2 admin people to actually confirm that the values are correct. And when you click back to the portfolio, there is the company we've just created, the test company. It's a parent holding, which is nested companies. Again, no total value because nothing's been signed off. We click on it, the assets in there, that's the asset, that's the company performance, and this is the asset within it. And again, it's a pending value of 1 million euros. And that's how it works.
Okay. So I suppose we just kind of really touched really briefly on what's within the system. I mean, we're available afterwards if anyone wants to come and have a look and see what other bits and pieces we've added to it. We've got kind of like reporting, bespoke reporting that's there, is put together, auditing, and the currency tables with the ability to put hedges in or not, and the kind of way in which we've approached the project is that to try and make it as simple as possible, you can add and take away things infinitely. So if a family office came across a holding that was really, really bespoke, you out of the box, you'd be able to just kind of cater for that straight away. So that kind of, yeah, so please, if you want to have a look at it, please ask. Just that kind of leaves a couple of thank yous, I guess. I'd like to thank all the mentors, Tom, Rob and Matt. They've been fantastic. They've offered us like amazing encouragement and help all the way through this project, and we've kind of like really we really needed it sometimes, but they've been great. I was also going to, also like to thank kind of like our family as well, because this is 6 months is like a really big undertaking, and we've all kind of had to rely on our partners to kind of really help us manage it, and and that's about it. So yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm Philip Ozef, and amongst a number of responsibilities, I am Jersey's first digital minister. I'm effectively an assistant in the Chief Minister's Department. We've put the responsibility for digital right at the heart of government because digital is so fundamentally important, and it sits alongside the financial services industry in terms of in the Chief Minister's Department, which I also oversee together with competition and innovation. I am really pleased to be able to be here tonight. Now I've got, of course, I'm digital minister, I've got an iPad, of course I've got this large battery because I keep on running out of power, because we need some innovation in terms of additional power for people like me. I would like to warmly congratulate Anastasia and the Chamber of Commerce team. I didn't get the other guys' names, to iLeave Key for Ted and your colleagues, and also for Vantage for Alex, Sarah and Chris. There is no doubt that we live in unprecedented times. For those of you who are Twitter followers, you might have noticed that I keep the location of my tweets on, and last week I was camped out in the UK for most of what was a pretty amazing week. I was actually there for two reasons. You might think I was there for the EU referendum preparation and sort of London watch, and you'd be right. But I also had another task, and that was because it was London Technology Week. And I'll just come back to that in a minute. I went to a number of events with Tony Moretta. I, last night, also went back. I've been to and fro the UK 3 times this week, and I'm back off again tonight, so it's just a bit of a busy time at the moment. Last night I went back to the UK, where we met the parliamentarians, the peers and MPs who support Jersey in the House of Commons and the House of Lords. And we met with Lord Fuchs, who is our Minister responsible, who got the Prime Minister in the statement that the Prime Minister made yesterday to include Jersey and the Crown dependencies in terms of the consultation. There is no doubt that we live in unprecedented times. I think that the hangover from both the wake and the party of both sides of the referendum debate, and many young people were certainly in us, is really now beginning to kick in. Now, there is no doubt that there is a crisis unfolding. But I think, and I say this with 17 years of experience in the States, I think we in Jersey are well placed to weather the storms ahead, to deal with whatever choppy waters are ahead, which hopefully will calm in time. But there is some turbulence to be had. I think Jersey is well placed because we've put strong foundations into Jersey. We have unprecedented amounts of, we don't have GDP debt, we have 100% of GDP in assets. Now, when I tell MPs and peers that, they are simply flabbergasted. And we have incredibly strong public finances, and I think that we've got strong futures in financial services, however Europe shapes out. And that's because we've been extending the reach of the financial services industry. And I'll talk about the relevance of digital, of why that is. We're looking in new markets around the world, in Middle East, Africa, Asia, and we've become increasingly internationalised. So that means that we are less vulnerable than others, quite apart from our political and financial stability. We are also, however, quite determined in the diversification of the economy. Now, diversification has been spoken about for a long time, but actually what diversification I think really has now come to mean is diversification of services. And services mean digital, and digital means coding. And that's why it is so important that you are learning and employers are calling for coding skills, and why this event that I've just come from the topping out ceremony of the new building on the Financial Services Centre, and now I'm doing this. And actually this is the most important thing of my task today, because you represent, and what you're doing is so fundamental to our future. I think it's great that we've got a range of people from lots of different backgrounds. I'm actually astonished that you've managed to build. I know you had a few technical issues, but I've learned that you've been on a course for 6 months, is it? 2 hours, 3 nights a week? 2 nights a week. Yep. Well, I think that's amazing. And if you've learnt to do that sort of thing in that amount of time, I think that's absolutely astonishing. And that just shows how quickly you can adapt and learn and get skills. Just turning back to London Tech Week, and I've got really 3 messages. The first thing is to the students. I know we've got some students, some employers and some people involved in delivering courses. To the students, I am absolutely convinced in everything that I have seen and everything that I have learnt, and I've been around since assuming the digital responsibilities for the government. I've spent a lot of personal time going to the tech centres of the world, in my own time a lot of the time. I've been to Seoul, I've been to Silicon Valley, I've been to Sydney, I've been to Singapore, and I went also on a government trip to the 4th Industrial Revolution WEF conference in Kigali, which is of course next door to Kenya, where there are loads and loads of graduates learning coding. There is absolutely clear evidence of, around the world, the fact that digital and particularly therefore coding are going to be skills that are of such importance in the future. David Cameron, before he resigned last week at the London Technology Week, said the technology sector in the UK has grown for the 2nd year running by an astonishing 32%. Now that represents, he said, 1.56 million jobs across the UK. I'll repeat that in tech, 1.56 million. That is a sector that did not exist even almost in political terms a very short time ago. Gerard Grech, and I went to the 5th anniversary of Tech City, that's the digital jersey equivalent in the UK, and Gerard Grech is a highly respected chief executive who knows us well. He said about graduate pay for technology companies, actually the starting salary for graduates is higher. It's about currently £50,000. That's 36% higher than the national average for graduates. And I thought that was really interesting. That's the average of the new roles that have been created. That he said the digital economy is expanding at an extraordinary pace, creating jobs and fueling growth in regions and cities up and down the country. Well, that is true up and down the United Kingdom, Brexit or no Brexit, and around the globe. I think that the opportunities for digital in Jersey are immense. It is a natural transferable sort of sector from our financial services expertise, and it's relevant to that financial services expertise, as you've seen in one of those great coding examples. We know that companies are going to need more coders. There is no doubt about that. And we need to basically grow both our local talent, and we're going to have to bring in talent from outside. But I'm very keen to see growing local talent. According to the Tinder Foundation, and that's not the application, I think, I'm told, 90% of new jobs require some form of digital skills. So getting a coding experience that you've got is going to make you better and a more attractive graduate in the future. Coding skills, digital skills are not nice to have, they're absolutely essential. Now secondly, businesses, and I appreciate very much the contribution. I'd like to say a personal thank you to the businesses that and Chamber, who've all the organisations who've actually engaged in this programme. The nature of digital industries means that tech employers are relevant to all sorts of organisations, have you seen. And the problem is there is a lack of local graduates for employers to actually employ. And we estimate that actually there's going to be a shortage of people for your employee requirements. That's why we need to really focus on getting our young people and existing people in the workplace, as you've seen today, actually to learn how to code. I want you to go out and be the coding ambassadors, companies for actually calling for the requirement of skills. And if I may say one thing, there's a real issue about gender balance in the UK. I think it was most encouraging, if I may say, to Sarah and Anastasia, to see some women coders. We need women role models because that's a real issue in the UK, and we need to encourage girls at school who actually don't think about science and technology, and we need to have just as many females than males in actually coding. And so I'm going to go and try and find some female digital ambassadors, because I think that's important. I think that the actual importance of employers being able to access digital skills and coding is absolutely vital. But thank you, the companies that have engaged. It's really fantastic. My third message is for the organisations that are delivering digital skill courses. You have an incredibly important job ahead of you to raise the level of the digital skills in Jersey. Digital Jersey, you here at the Hub, Education Department of Highlands College, I'm going to be knocking at their doors constantly and encouraging them to do effectively more training for more digital and other skills like we've heard this evening. There is an absolute requirement for this in the future if we are to reach the opportunities of the future. And there's a clear link between digital skills and higher value and higher productivity. That's no doubt that we need a higher and more productive economy of the future. And actually, it's all about digital. So I'm going to be encouraging, and I'm pleased to say that as a result of some work that we're going to be doing and have successfully done, I know the Hub's going to be delivering some more skills, because we've managed to extract some money from the Growth and Productivity Fund, which is our £5 million a year fund for boosting jobs and growth and productivity. And we're going to have no hesitation in government of asking for money and draw down from the Treasury in order to boost that. And that money, I can say, is actually going to be allocated. Some of it's going to be to do some new courses in this fantastic Hub, and that's fantastic. I will say that unfortunately I can't code. I'm a linguist, but I can't code, and I really need to go on a coding course. But I have a secret weapon, and that's my godson. My godson is the son of, you may have heard of a company called Ubisoft, and Ubisoft is a French company, and my godson, who's now 24, and his father is one of the founders of Ubisoft. I asked my godson what he was doing a couple of years ago for his summer, and he said, well, I've been sent off to Canada to go and learn coding, because I've got to go and learn coding to teach all the managers in all of the departments that work for Ubisoft coding. And that just shows you that actually everybody, people like me, have got to understand how to do things like that, because then every manager and every person has to know and understand, because that's how the innovation and that's how business is going to be driven in the future. Today is a really important day, and I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to be supporting Digital Jersey and the Hub and this incredibly important thing, and I'm hoping and looking forward I'm going to give out some certificates. But well done for everybody, and particularly the mentors, if I may say, the 3 mentors that you've got. Well done to you. I can't see you all. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.